We came to the Homesteading Life Conference, which was an absolute blast, and really enjoyed our time there. Meet great people. These guys do an excellent job putting that on.
Thank you.
And it's always a learning experience. No matter how long we've been doing this, whether you're a homesteader, farmer, market gardener, there is something for everybody. Yeah. Always stuff to learn. So we appreciate these guys going to all the work and effort and putting that on.
Yeah, it was a good time.
So we've been here helping them do a few things, odds and ends, on their cabin build for their mom that's moving out of the city and into the country.
Yep.
So we thought we'd sit down and just chat with them and ask a few questions for a lot of our viewers that may not know a whole lot about these guys. So introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about why you do what you do.
Well, I'm Doug.
And I'm Stacy.
And we live off-grid in this log cabin that we built. It's 11 years ago we've done that. How about that?
11 years ago. Can you believe it?
We just packed up out of the city and decided we were going to move to the country, grow our own food. We live 100% off rainwater. We have composting toilets. And we share all of our information on social media so you guys can break free, dismantle the rat wheel, and live by the beat of your own drum. Kind of like these guys, right? Yeah, I mean, they're here. They can spend as much time as they want. We're hanging out. See? Otherwise, they'd have to go back to that cubicle, to that job they hate, and watch us on the videos and think about one day.
Yeah, so our time is our own, right?
Yeah,
we do what we want to do.
That's right. Don't. So. It's a fool. You get fooled into thinking that it's not. That's all. Work.
Well,
and for what?
We do work a little bit.
Yeah, we all work outside so you can make money to pay bills and then maybe get a vacation, Then maybe retire one day so you can maybe do the things you wanted to do. A lot of people, I say, that they wait to do this stuff when they retire and they live like 6 months and they all die. All these people I know that waited all their life to retire and do this stuff, as soon as they retire, they get sickly and they all pass away, or they get their hips replaced. I mean,
or their ankles.
Don't wait. Yeah.
Yeah,
very,
do
very
it.
True.
Just do it.
Just do it.
That's very true. Very true. So rainwater catchment, that's one of the things you guys inspired us to do. So we have it if we needed it for any event in our world that might go on where the water, power, or anything like that would be out of service. We primarily use it right now. We have rain barrels around the house, and we pump that out to our storage tanks, and we can use it either to irrigate a crop, or we can use it for ourselves in an emergency. So
that's liquid gold.
Lots
in
of
Texas.
kitties around here.
Yeah.
Liquid gold in
Everywhere.
Texas, isn't it? Rainwater.
Yep. And then
so we live 100% off rainwater year round. In our area here, we get almost about 50 inches of rain a year. So
every year it keeps going up and up. We keep getting so much more rain.
Yeah, if you guys are looking for this lifestyle, you might want to think twice about Arizona or something. You can do rainwater catchment there, but you're going to need a big system because you have to work off the typhoons and stuff, right? So you get one shot at collecting your rain. Monsoons, not the typhoons. So. But I'm telling you straight, you only get one shot at getting the water. So.
Yeah, we get a lot of water. We take showers with it. We drink it. We water our garden with it. Everything. I love our rainwater. And it's so funny when we go anyplace else, we travel anywhere else, and you go into a hotel, and it's like, you smell the chlorine. Whereas, the rainwater, I just love the way it makes your hair feel, your skin feel, and we do like it.
Yeah, very true. It'd be just more natural way to live. Yeah, living the way God intended us to live.
He gives us everything. Doesn't it say He gives us everything we need?
That's right.
And He does too. My house is made out of the wood He provided. We drink the water that He gives us, the seeds that He gives us. We grow all of our own food. We're like 90-something%, probably 8, 7. I mean, most of the stuff, if we get at the store, it's like, luxury. Yeah, luxury stuff, right?
But I do have a Meyer lemon tree. I was telling you, I have a Meyer lemon tree, so hopefully I'll have my lemons too. But those are it. And then we're having rice for dinner tonight.
Right.
Can't do the
rice.
Get the rice.
But all of our medicinals too. We have a lot of herbs and plants that we use to heal ourselves, comfreys, and just so much. It's all right here at our fingertips.
And our fruit trees and berry trees and all that, we have that. And actually this year has been the best for fruits.
Yeah.
I have to say, every year you have a rock star when it comes to growing. And the growing season this year, I think, will go toward the fruits.
Yes.
The blackberries have been great. The strawberries were great.
Our most apples we've ever had ever.
Great. Yeah, everything has just been spot on. And normally you'll have one or the other pretty much for fruit. And all the fruits have done so well since we've had so much rain and the cooler temperatures. So That's been good this year. The tomatoes, with all the rain we've been having with blight and all the weeds, that's just been,
Yeah.
Bug pressure. And
lots of bug pressure.
Yeah.
Yep.
The
Everything
weeds,
But honestly, you know, like foraging, and if a lot of you guys aren't doing that, maybe you're growing a garden, maybe get some books on foraging and going into your yard and start looking around at all the wonderful foods that you have from just out around in your yard. And it's just amazing what you can get. So I'll supplement a lot of the things from the garden, especially when things start to bolt, like your lettuces and things like that in the heat of summer. I'll go ahead and I'll supplement it with a lot of the things that I have, you know, in the yard, like lamb's quarter and some of these other things, and it just really does help.
And even flowers, a lot of edible
flowers.
flowers.
Lots of flowers.
We have a lot of flowers.
And one of my favorites is Rose of Sharon.
Oh,
You guys familiar with Rose of Sharon? A lot of people have them in their yard, and they're beautiful, and they're hibiscus family. They're in the hibiscus family, and that's one of my favorite. I love them. They taste great.
Everything you need, right?
And it looks just like their color of your shirt.
Yes.
The ones we have in our yard.
And elderberries I see on there. I can name off a bunch of food on there.
Yeah.
You got all the hippie colors going on, right?
Gary asked me this
It's very
morning.
earthy.
Gary said, "Did you eat at Doug and Stacy's?" I was like, "Yeah." Did you have flowers in your salad?
That's right.
No, I didn't. I was going to put some marigolds in. We were having it tonight. We'll have it
we
tonight.
can have it, yeah.
If you were to tell anybody that you know something about why this is a lifestyle that people should look at or consider, what would you tell them?
In a small little bit of a sentence setup, I could say that Henry Kissinger said, "Control the food, control the people." So,
There you go.
I control my food.
And you control your people.
I mean, all I can tell you is
But not the cats.
it's just like you know, we were just like a lot of people 11 years ago. We were going to the store. We were totally disconnected from everything. We didn't know if it was going to rain outside. We didn't know, you know, nothing. We were in controlled environments all the time. Food was just a thing we bought, and you know, everything is totally changed now. So.
Yeah, I always think about, you think about people, a few hundred years ago, the settlers that came over here, and people who live, the cowboys and the Native American Indians and all that. You know how they live, and you know where the wind blows, and you can see the storm fronts coming in, and you can see the signs and seasons and all this kind of stuff. I mean, we were clueless to it, and now I think, you know what? I mean, I kind of know what's going on now. I'm kind of in tune with the weather. You're like part of nature. It's like part of you now. And it's like when we go places and then you're away from being outside, my body is like wanting it more and more. And I often think about that movie, when they took Tarzan and they brought him in and they put his clothes on him, asleep. And no, I'm literally.
I know, but we were lullabied that way. So
I was
here
like
we are.
that
We're
too.
at the end
and
of
now
it.
we're like part of this because we're in nature and we're outside all the time.
Right.
And we're so in tune with nature now. And when you get taken away, like if I have to go in the city and spend the night, I go and spend it with my aunt. And I just am like, it's like part of me is pulling me. And I think about that Tarzan thing all the time and how he had to have his shoes on and he didn't want his shoes on.
That's good. I love that.
It is. I'm like totally with it. We are really becoming more like as a person organic, and it just makes you feel so good, and you feel more healthy. And it's good. I love it. And the more
some
we're
of the
away,
health changes we've noticed in our own life in the 4 or 5 years we've kind of ventured in this lifestyle is our health changes.
Yeah.
And the stuff we can do that people our age, similar ages, that they can't do those kind of things anymore because they've lived that sedentary life and can't do it.
Oh, I know.
It's sleep and water. I mean, if you guys get anything out of this, I mean, drink water.
Not tap water.
Yeah, not tap water.
No fluoridated
good,
water.
Clean spring water or rain water or,
reverse
through a
osmosis,
Berkey.
Berkey water.
Yeah, purified water.
And sleep. Those are the two things. And then from there, it's the good organic food. And you'll start seeing all this change in your body. Your metaphysical stuff will change. Your mood will change. It's just amazing.
And eating some fermented food into your diet, too, is very important, too. Like sauerkraut or some kefir or some kombucha, something like that to help with your gut. Because all those things put together, people think that you have to have this big, elaborate plan to get healthy. But really, by doing minor changes and over time, you will heal yourself. By eating good food and getting out and getting movement and getting in the sun. That's another big one, too.
Yes,
all those things. It's Simple stuff.
Good stuff.
Simple stuff.
Animals. You guys have chickens and turkeys and ducks.
Yeah.
Oh
and-
my!
And
Chickens and
my,
turkeys
and
and ducks.
sheep.
Oh my!
Oh my!
Yes,
Yeah.
and horses.
Fish.
Horses.
We have fish.
Yep.
A
Fish in the
dog.
pond. So how much work is it to keep all that up?
It's really not that bad. It's fairly, my person here does all of it, and it doesn't bother me at all, really.
No, the one thing with the animals, they add a little flavor to your homestead. They add. I just love having them run around. And I really, I was just thinking it right now. I was throwing some old food out to the chickens and stuff. I love my turkeys to death.
Yeah, the turkeys
and
are
then
good.
guineas. I love the guineas and turkeys. They have to be my favorite over the chickens. And the ducks are fun, but they're
I was
messy.
going to say that the ducks are. We just got 4 ducks not too long ago, and they're like the comedians of the barnyard.
Yeah.
They're just hilarious to watch.
They are, but they make a mess.
Yeah, they
But
do.
they are a lot of fun. And I love the animals because they add just so much, just fun to your farm. The horses are fun. And
Yeah. And I'm a sheep guy, so we don't do any goats. Goats are overrated. And we're not into milking, okay? So where we are in the Midwest, you can get milk really easy. It's $3-4 a gallon or whatever it is.
Wow.
But I can go right around the corner right now and pick it up. But if you're in a place where it's hard to get that stuff and you want to have that good farm fresh milk, then you might want to get some animals that you have to milk 2 times a day every day for the rest of your life, see? But since we're not in that situation, we've got to pick our battles, and we don't have those. We do grow out some beef, once in a while, or we have a friend do it for us. And then we raise sheep here, Katahdin sheep. They're hair sheep. They don't need to be sheared. They're called easy keepers because all we have to do is give them some water. And we use
they're
those
grass,
for the
and they're
meat,
good.
grass cutters, shrub eaters. And the chickens and the fish. We have bass and bluegill. Yeah. So we're trying to be all as self-sufficient as we can
And
be.
we also have bees. We raise honeybees.
Honeybees,
Yeah.
yeah, and the fishes are good for your omega oils and all this stuff. I mean, we have cattails in our pond, so our whole property is basically a food forest and provision for us to sustain ourselves.
So maybe people that can't move out to do this kind of lifestyle. They live in the suburbs. They live in they live in an apartment.
Sure. Right.
There's always things that they can do for themselves
Definitely.
as well. I mean, your lawn doesn't have to look like your neighbor's lawn.
That's right.
Everybody can grow edibles where they are,
That's
right?
right. That's
In their
right.
flower beds, in their backyard.
Yep.
And the big thing for me, I like, microgreens.
Oh, I love them.
Microgreens
Yeah.
are great. Sprouts are great. Like the conference that we just had this past weekend, I did a thing on sprouts, how easy that is. You can get a lot of nutrients from those. And the other thing is I tell people is to grow herbs, as many herbs as you can grow. The nutrient and
They're
the health
easy
benefits
keepers,
from
too.
herbs are great. So those are things you can grow in pots. You can put them on your deck. I mean, anybody can grow them. Between those 3 things, if you can grow some herbs, you can grow some microgreens, and you can
Microgreens,
grow
sprouting.
and some sprouts. That's a great place to start.
Yeah.
So and
Sprouting
then from there,
is super easy. No matter where you live, you can sprout.
Some seeds in a jar and some
And
water.
Yeah,
and
and
you
it only
get so
takes a
much
few days.
nutrition from it. So much nutrition.
Yeah, like a broccoli sprout, you'll get 100 times the nutrition as the full-grown broccoli
That's
plant.
right.
100 times. It's
There's no
crazy.
excuses for you.
No, you can do it. So I mean, anybody can do
You can.
something.
And what'll
Yeah.
happen is you'll find yourself taking these baby steps, and then you'll be like, honey, we need to sell this place. And you'll start getting more, comfortable with it, and you'll be reaching for more and more of it, I promise you. It's
Or
just a
maybe-
natural instinct. You'll just do it.
Or even in the, you're in the suburbs, maybe you started with the pots, you started sprouting, you started microgreens, you started herbs. Maybe it's like, okay, I'm going to get a raised bed.
Yeah.
It's time for a raised bed, and then you can plant more things in there. And you'll be amazed at the amount of things you can get in a raised bed and all the food that can supply your family. And then once you start tasting that food that's fresh, that didn't travel 1,500 miles to get to the grocery
That's the
store,
average travel,
and the different, how it tastes so much more flavorful and wonderful, it'll be like you're sold.
And if
And
you're in
nutrient
suburbia,
density too, right?
yeah.
Oh gosh, definitely, yeah.
Yep. And
Because
if
you're
you're in
losing those too.
If you're in suburbia, you don't even know, but you've been tricked actually, because your lawn is a European transplant. Actually, back in Europe, when they were really wealthy, they would skin off the whole front yard of their place where they would normally grow food, and everyone else did. But they would skim that off to show that they were wealthy. See that? So you guys are carrying on some tradition from over there that show that they were wealthy. You're not well. Are you wealthy? Then put some food in that yard. Stop cutting that grass every week. Stop putting fertilizers and chemicals down. Grow food in that thing. That's what it's for. When you guys buy a house and you live in your house, your yard's not to cut every week and to hire the guy to come and do it, right? It's to grow food to sustain yourself. So start having that mentality and cut the food store out and grow it right there. You already paid for that property.
Yeah, just take a little corner,
Yeah.
start with a little corner, and
Go in
just
the
kind of
back,
go there.
start
Yeah.
putting up the raised beds, then move to the front.
Until the homeowners association gets you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we try that too. We put as many edibles and medicinal plants and herbs, even in our flower beds around the house,
That's right.
as we can. So if
love
we
it.
can do it, everybody can
That's
do it.
right.
So when you moved out here 11 years ago?
11. This is 11 years now.
So what is the hardest, looking back, what was the hardest and what was the easiest thing?
I'll answer the hardest.
That we went through.
Yeah. For me, the hardest thing is most people think it's, oh, you know, you're working with the animals or you're having to work in the yard and doing all that. But for me, I was still working in the city and I had to drive to work every day and then come home and do all the other stuff. So it was the driving to work, which was like an hour and 15 minutes, hour and a half each way. So that's over 3 hours of driving every day. And I did that for how long?
A couple of years.
Yeah.
I told her she wouldn't make
That
it.
was hard. So I went from 5 days to 4 days to 3 days to 2 days
To no days.
Woo! So that was probably the hardest thing. But just living out here, you know, I mean, I just love it. What was the easiest thing?
The easiest thing? Man, that's a hard one, isn't it? The easiest thing.
Not having policemen on the road, on the gravel roads.
That was the easiest thing?
No, I don't know.
No.
What's the easiest thing?
I don't know. It's hard because like you try to think about the things you went through and the easiest things. Was the transition easy? You kind of think it was, but you know, I remember those hot days, you know, and the
That was
garden-
hard too. Maybe
the
I'll
garden
change that.
sweltering and
Yeah.
you know the hoeing and the flooding we had. No food production for that year. I mean all of that, but I guess the easy part would be.
I'm going to
just-
change my answer.
What is
Okay.
it? What are you going to change it to?
The hardest thing for us, our first full year down here, we went from air conditioning, living foofy. Our
Hardcore.
first full year down here, we had
It was the hottest year on record.
Hottest year. We had a whole month. It was like 100 degrees.
Yeah, it was the hottest year on
It was
record.
terrible. I remember I'd get up in the morning. We have no air conditioning. I get up in the morning. I would just pray for the sun to go down.
Yeah,
Early in the morning,
it
it
was
was so
hot.
hot. You couldn't do it. It was so bad because at night it was in the
You couldn't
80s
get
at
any
night,
relief.
and it wouldn't even cool down at night.
And we were all new to it.
It was terrible. It was bad. We had a horrible drought like that.
Baptism by
That was
fire,
pretty hard.
literally.
That
So you're
was
planning
pretty
for
hard.
no air conditioning, probably on purpose.
No,
Right.
we didn't. We kind of everything was like an evolution.
We
to
didn't
be honest.
plan
There was.
anything.
It was like we were going to live in a fifth wheel, and then I started looking at log cabins, and then you know I've told you guys I'm not a carpenter guy. I never did this stuff. I've always been in sales. I've always paid people to do stuff. I've never done this stuff, so you can do it too. And I built this log cabin just after some research and how the pioneers did it. I watched a bunch of old Western movies. I mean, I was really into it, and then that's what happened, and I built this cabin. So I didn't know how to do electrical, and I didn't have, you know, $5,000 to pay somebody to come and do it. And I didn't have, you know, $10,000 to hook up to the electric poles, and I didn't have $15,000 or $20,000 or $30,000 to drill a well, right? So all this stuff was like, we were figuring it out as we go, and then we learned that the Amish lived by us, and then we started watching how they live, and I said, if they can do it, we can do it too. And then, so that's how our systems all started coming together, and I did more research, and you know, now I teach the Amish some off-grid stuff, and we all live copacetic, and it's just been really like that, you know, it's just been like this evolution of our progress and what we're doing here. So, yeah, I think maybe the naivety and, you know, just us going into it, I think that might have helped us even, because sometimes if you think about it too much, you might get analysis paralysis, or you might talk yourself out of it, or it might be too hard, you know. So
Yeah, when
all
you
that
don't
stuff
jump
could have
in
been good,
and
yeah.
don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's not so bad.
And now here we are, 11 years later.
was
We
the
have
easiest
great
part.
systems in place. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
We
we've
have-
talked a lot about the systems
We're
you
real
put out
good,
there
yeah.
to make sure things can run smoothly and
Yeah,
and
and like
operate.
y'all, that you have
Yeah.
systems in place so you can
Yeah.
leave your homestead. That's a system to have in place. Friends and family that can come and take care of your chores, right? But if you're milking animals 2 times a day, it might be a little harder to find those people. So you have to remember all these things when you're setting up your place and how you're gonna long-term live there and stuff.
Or
know?
even you guys that have gardens, you know, having drip irrigation, you know, something like that to help
That
if you want to
helps.
go somewhere.
Absolutely,
That
yeah.
does.
Yeah, definitely.
But I've also known people that have done that. Ray, who might come next year, and his whole stuff flooded everywhere. His irrigation thing popped off.
We've had
Nobody's
that happen.
checking on the stuff, and it's like blip, 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 and then they found out. So it's it's good to have an eye every once in a while, but yeah, it's all about the systems.
Yeah, and you mentioned the Amish too. So you kind of went from a city community. So when you move out, people
I went
people
to a city
probably
living.
think,
There's no community.
yeah. So then you move out here, and so people might wonder, well, now you're all by yourself. You're out here all by yourself, kind of thing. There's no community.
We were in
well,
the
to some
wilderness.
degree, you are.
Yeah.
But what we've learned is, we have our community where we live, but at the same time, the community of people that we've met through this adventure, the homesteading, the market gardening, all of these kind of things, the YouTube community,
That's true.
it's
They're there to
incredible.
help. Right.
Yeah.
Oh no, there definitely is that community with that sense of help and helping one another and being there if you need help. It really is.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, man, this was 11 years ago. YouTube's just a baby.
That's true.
Yeah.
We didn't have smartphones. We were still flip phoning it, barely getting a signal out here. All that stuff has progressed, right?
Yeah.
So we didn't have community. We were strangers in a strange land, and when you move to a rural area, they don't just be like, hey, come on in. They're kind of standoffish, right? They're worried you're going to bring some of that city living garbage up here, start changing the way they live and stuff,
Yeah.
So it takes time to get into the neighborhood, to make some friends, to make some connections. So be patient with that as well. Maybe take that little nugget away that don't think you're going to move to your new rural area and it's just going to be like, they're going to be all accepting of you, okay? So it's not a bad thing. They're just making sure who you are first. You got to earn people's respect and trust out here, unlike in the city where it's almost like you almost expect it, right? Out here you have to earn it. That was good. I like that.
That's really good.
It is good, man, because it's the truth.
It is true.
Yeah.
We could
Yeah,
segue into
guys,
your
we've really
outfit.
enjoyed the time we spent with you guys out here,
Yeah, it was
helping with the
awesome.
cabin, the food you guys prepared, fantastic.
Yeah.
Just enjoyed you guys'
And
company.
thanks for
and-
your help. That was big help.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah.
really
Yeah, it
enjoyed
was awesome.
Big
Yeah,
help.
we like doing it.
There you
It
go.
was great.
You did the backside of the house. We finished
I
that
know.
today.
It's like-
We got it.
That was good.
They had us do the backside, so if we screwed it up, you wouldn't see it.
No,
there.
it was
Well, I want to see it. I just
It
had to
turned
get
out
the
good,
front
though.
side done. It has the most windows and doors.
Yeah.
You know what I
Right.
mean? That was my
Right.
main thing.
Yep. Well, now you can get the back windows in.
There you go. Stain
I
again.
love it. The rooster
Stake
even
it up.
likes it too. Now it's time to eat,
Yeah,
right?
time
Bon
to
appetit,
eat.
let's
What are you doing? You getting the food?
Yep.
Stace, are you getting the food? You getting the steaks? We're going to eat some steaks. That's an outdoor kitchen, you guys. If you're going to do this kind of lifestyle, you want to think about building an outdoor kitchen. Those things are rocking. We do all of our food processing in there. We're getting ready to go in there and have some barbecue, or some steaks anyways, not barbecue. It's on the barbecue grill, but I just want you guys to know, thanks for stopping by. Make sure you hit their subscribe button, Savvy Farms, and they're going to be Savvy Organics, and they're going to be taking you guys along on all these adventures, on all this growing and stuff they're doing on their channel. It's a new channel, so hit the subscribe button, follow along when they post these new videos. They're teaching you guys this market garden and all this internet stuff, and that can really help you out, right? So, and if you want to check us out, it's Off Grid with Doug and Stacy on YouTube. That's basically it. We just teach you guys about living off grid and growing your own food, and we don't really do market garden stuff, but we have a lot of fun. And also, I'm not Amish, I don't play one on YouTube, but I like the clothes, and I employ my neighbors to make my clothes, and I live an agrarian lifestyle. These clothes are the clothes they wore in the 1800s and 1900s, and basically that's what I'm wearing to do my thing too. So if you ever want any curiosities about how we live and all that, just come on by our channel. Otherwise, we're going to go eat right now. Come on, Stace! And we'll see you guys on the next video.